pineapple recipe for this video is going to be actually inspired by a recipe from Jamie Oliver's 5 ingredients cookbook. Often we'll find recipe inspiration from cookbooks and then change it up and make it my own because that's what I do. Today I'm getting inspiration from this pineapple carpaccio recipe that he has. What he did in the original recipe is kind of put it on a plate and then you would like cut the pineapple into small pieces and kind of eat it with a knife and fork. I'm gonna make this recipe easier and just make it into a yogurt bowl. I'm going to grab my ingredients. I have my bowl here. I'm going to add some yogurt into this bowl. Mason Riviera oat yogurt. I like this one because per serving it's only 90 calories and 5 grams of protein, which is pretty good for a vegan yogurt. Also, it's a good source of calcium apparently, as it says on the top. I'm going to pour about half of the tub into the bowl, which would be about 1.5 cups of yogurt. Now this is not in Jamie Oliver's recipe, but it's in my version. I'm going to add a scoop of protein powder, and I'm using Quattro Vegan in the vanilla flavor. And now mix this up until the protein powder is all mixed in, and it's like a thick mousse consistency. All right, that looks good to me. So it's a good thick yogurt base. Now for our toppings, I'm gonna be using frozen fruit. Jamie uses fresh, you can do either. So I'm gonna start with some frozen pineapple. It's probably about 1/4 cup I had left in here. By the way, as you can see, I do have a fresh pineapple behind me, but it's not quite ripe yet. Once it ripens, then I'll be using fresh pineapple for these recipes. Now I'm gonna add some frozen blueberries. It's also probably about 1/4 cup. Then I have some fresh mint from my garden. This is optional, but it'll give it some fresh taste, and also it's pretty. And then the last thing in Jamie's recipe is actually lime juice. When I went to get limes at the grocery store, they were out. So I'm gonna be using lemon juice. Juice of half a lemon. And there we go, the first pineapple recipe for this video. Let's do a taste test. And I'm gonna make sure to get a little bit of everything. That is such a good combo of flavors. The mint and the pineapple and the lemon juice. It's very fresh tasting. Really perfect for summer and spring. Our next pineapple recipe is going to be some pineapple blackberry pancakes. I'm going to be using this pancake and waffle mix from a brand called Sesgrainable. I got this at the Planted Expo a few weeks ago. You of course could make a pancake mix from scratch, but I'm going to be using this one because I have it. So I'm starting with 42 grams of this mix, which apparently makes 2 pancakes. It's a little more than 42, but that's fine. Now on this mix, it says you either need milk, oil, and eggs, or chia eggs. I'm going to be using milk and applesauce, and we'll see how that works out. I'm using Willa's Kitchen oat milk. I'm gonna finish off this barista one, and then I'm gonna use the rest of this plain unsweetened. Starting with half a cup, and I'm gonna start with 2 tablespoons of unsweetened applesauce and mix that up. On the package, it says to let it stand for 2 minutes before putting it in a pan. So I'm going to set this aside and let it sit. While that is sitting, we're gonna make our toppings, which again is going to be the blackberry and pineapple, almost like a compote or a jam. To a small pot, I'm going to add 1 cup of frozen blackberries with 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. It's been a few minutes, and I'm going to pour this into the pan. I sprayed it with a little bit of coconut oil spray, and I have it set over low heat. For some protein on these pancakes, I'm going to make my classic protein cream, which if you've seen my other videos, you know what this is, but I'll explain it again. So I'm just gonna do 1 scoop of Magnum's Quattro Vegan vanilla, and then with either milk or water, you're gonna mix it up until it turns into like a thick cream consistency. You can do it thick or thin, depending on what you want on top of your pancakes. Here are the blackberries, so they're nice and soft. And I'm going to attempt to flip this pancake now. It worked! The pancakes are done. Now it's time to add our toppings. I'm going to start with the quattro mixture and then the blackberries. I'm going to add a cup of frozen pineapple. You could also use fresh. And then last but not least, I'm gonna add a drizzle of this vegan honey made with apples. You could also do maple syrup. I'm so excited for this. And there is breakfast for today. Lunch today, we're gonna be making some tempeh tacos with a pineapple salsa. I'm going to start by cooking up my tempeh. So I'm gonna be using this Tempeh garlic soy tempeh. You could also just get regular tempeh and marinate it yourself. You could use tofu, you could use turkey, chicken, whatever you like, whatever filling you want and protein source in your tacos. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to be using this whole block of tempeh and I'm just going to crumble it into small pieces, almost to resemble like a ground turkey consistency. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to cook this until it's nice and crispy and cooked through. While the tempeh is cooking, I'm going to make the pineapple salsa. I'm going to start with some pineapple, and I am using fresh pineapple this time. I'm gonna do 1 cup, and I'm gonna dice it into smaller chunks. If you don't like pineapple, you could also use mango for this, or peaches, or cherries. Really any fruit instead works. I'm gonna add the chopped pineapple to a bowl. Next, some red onion. I'm actually gonna use the rest of this red onion, which is probably 1/4 of a full red onion. And I'm going to dice this super small as well. And add that to the pineapple. If you want to, you can add some jalapeno into your pineapple salsa. I'm not going to because I don't love spicy things. So next I'm gonna add some lime juice. You can also add in some fresh cilantro if you like cilantro. I don't think I have any, so I'm not going to add it. But if you like it, and if you have it, I'd recommend add some. And lastly for the salsa, I'm just gonna add some salt. And give that a good mix. Beautiful. Tempeh is cooked, and now it's time to assemble everything. I have some fresh corn tortillas from a brand called Taco Revolution. We got these also at the Planted Expo a few weeks ago. I think I'm gonna do 4. Now, if you have fresh corn tortillas like this, make sure to heat them up because otherwise they're gonna fall apart. So I'm just gonna microwave them for 15 seconds. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of the tempeh on each one, and then some of our pineapple salsa. Add 1/4 of an avocado to each one. And then you can finish off with a drizzle of lime juice. And there are your tempeh tacos with a pineapple salsa. Our next pineapple recipe is going to be a pineapple fried rice. I'm going to start by chopping up 1/2 of an onion, and I'm going to add this to a pan preheated to medium-high heat. To the onion, I'm going to add some of these organic mixed vegetables. This is a frozen mix, about 1 cup. For some protein, I'm gonna add some frozen edamame, about 1.5 cups. I'm going to add a cup of chopped pineapple, and these chunks are a little bit big, so I'm going to cut them maybe in half. I just made a fresh batch of brown rice, so I'm going to add 1 cup of cooked rice to the veggies. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of soy sauce. You can also do coconut aminos. Our next pineapple recipe is going to be some pineapple coconut air fryer cake. I'm going to be using the recipe from the Eat the Rainbow cookbook, page 100, pineapple coconut muffins, but I'm going to be making it to a little cake instead, and I'm going to be making it in the air fryer instead of the oven. First ingredient, to a small bowl, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of regular all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and then just a dash of salt. If you want this sweeter, you can also add in 2 tablespoons of powdered stevia. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of unsweetened applesauce and 1 tablespoon of shredded coconut. If you have vanilla extract, I would recommend adding that in now. I don't have any, otherwise I would add it. Oat milk, 1/2 cup. All right, that's perfect. So it's a good batter consistency. I'm gonna line our dish with some parchment paper and pour the batter in there. Now I have some fresh pineapple chunks, and I'm just gonna dice these into smaller pieces and add them on top. I'm gonna add one more half tablespoon on top, and this is gonna get nice and toasted. Now I'm going to air fry this. I'm going to air fry it for 17 minutes at 350 degrees, and we'll see how it looks at that point. Our next recipe is going to be a pineapple avocado salad. I'm going to start with our pineapple. I'm going to be using about 2 cups of chopped pineapple. I'm going to slice up this green bell pepper and add it to the pineapple as well. You can use any color bell pepper that you like. Next up, I'm gonna chop some red onion, like just over 1/4 of a red onion, and add that to the salad. Next, I'm gonna add an avocado, the juice of a whole lemon, and then lastly, I'm going to add some salt. If you want it to be spicy, you could add some chili flakes or jalapeno to this. You could also add some fresh cilantro. I'm gonna give this a good mix. And there is your pineapple avocado salad. The last recipe for this video is going to be some carrot cake overnight oats. I'm starting with 1/2 cup of oats. I'm going to add a scoop of Magnum Nutraceuticals Quattro Vegan in the vanilla flavor, some cinnamon, a few sprinkles of salt, and now for our wet ingredients, I'm going to add 1 cup of oat milk. And I'm going to mix that together. To this, I'm going to add some carrots. You can either buy pre-shredded carrots or shred them yourself. For the rest of the ingredients, you can add anything that you like in your carrot cake. I'm going to be doing a little bit of each of walnuts, coconut, some dried cranberries, and pineapple. I added all of my toppings, and I'm going to add a little sprinkle extra of the cinnamon on top. Add your lid and refrigerate overnight, and enjoy the next day.